Alright everyone, just wanted to do a quick garden update here on April 6th to show you what I've got going on so far. Have to admit I haven't done a whole lot of work this past few days. We're keep having snow in the forecast and I'm afraid of putting seeds in the ground and then them getting frozen out. So have my some seeds started inside and going to try to get some a few direct sown. Some of the hardier plants, some spinach probably. My plan is for every seed that I have started inside, I'm going to direct sow another one outside and just kind of see what works out best. So let me show you what I've got going on. Okay, so here are the raised beds that I put in a couple weeks ago. Well, this one I did last year, and the big one over there I did last year. I covered them with plastic to help warm the soil up, get it to a good temperature for germination sooner, and I have it nailed down on the one side and I just have bricks weighing it down on the other, so I can just pull it off when I do seed, and then I can cover it back up again and it'll basically have a greenhouse effect going on there. Once we get into summer I'll just take the plastic off completely, but I figure for the first few weeks I should probably leave it on in case we get any snow or any more frosts. My garlic is doing real well here. Shoots are getting nice and big. I think I have 16 bulbs that came up, so I'm pretty happy about that. Over on this side I'm gonna put in some onions. I'll do that pretty soon here. I took down the chicken wire that I had on this bed. I'm going to reuse it. This year I'm going to chicken wire off all of my ground beds, because last year we had rabbits get into our crop and ate pretty much everything that wasn't in the raised bed. Last year I had chicken wire on this side and coming around that edge. I think this year for the, I'm going to have squash in this one again. I think this year I'm just going to run a piece of chicken wire vertical right across the center here, and then that way it'll be easier to get in, to water and weed, and as the vines start to come up they can grow up the center there. Over here I've got my main ground bed, so you can see I've got a couple mounds that I built up. Last year this soil was pretty terrible and we had no luck with what we planted in this garden. So this year I worked in some of the compost that I got from a friend of mine. I also added in a bag of garden mix from the store and a bag of this cow manure and compost. And this stuff is great. I love the cow manure compost. So I raked that in, built up these mounds, and I have this covered with plastic just to help it warm up. The raised beds do, just because they're above the ground, they will warm up faster, so I should be able to direct sow and transplant my seedlings into these sooner than I can sow directly into the ground. And then over here I built a vertical pallet bed. This one I'm planning to do some herbs. I'm going to do some parsley and some basil in here. I may do some tomatoes, although tomatoes are not really approved on the diet that I'm on, so I guess we'll see. I might do a couple and just kind of see what pans out with those, try to work them in. With these, I really wasn't sure how to do the bottoms at first, since the center support prevented me from just putting one piece across and nailing it on, and also none of the pieces that I had left over were quite wide enough to be able to nail into these faces. So what I came up with is I put some nails in the front face and then on the bottom here, and just wired it on, wrapped it around this nail, and then there's another nail on the other side. Did the same thing here in the center, and that seemed to work out pretty well. I mean, you can see there's a little bit of a gap there, but all in all I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. And I've got a mix of some of the manure, some potting soil. So this will probably be the last one that I plant into, just because it's going to be harder to keep covered and warm up. But this is another bed that I got going on here. And then over on the side of the house here, we did plant here last year, but this is where we got devastated by the rabbits. So after I plant this year, I'm gonna chicken wire the whole thing off. I think I'm gonna do root vegetables over here, just because with the depth of the ground beds, I'm not sure that they're gonna be deep enough for root vegetables. So I'll do some carrots, hopefully some sweet potatoes in here, and I'm thinking about doing some okra over here. The okra is kind of an experiment. It's probably too cold up here in northwest Pennsylvania for okra to really do well, but I'm going to see what kind of luck I can have with it. Okay, over here I have this little greenhouse set up. We got this for, I think it was 15 bucks on Facebook Marketplace. So you can see I'm not making full use of it yet, but I have some parsley, a couple cabbage plants, and a couple broccoli in there. So far, because we're still getting down into the 30s at night, I've been bringing those in during the night and then just putting them out here during the daylight so they can get some sun. But having those already started, it gives us a little bit of insurance in case our seedlings don't turn out. Okay, and finally, here's the seedlings I started inside. Got these in last week. And as you can see, I'm already starting to get some sprouts coming up, so I'm pretty happy about that. Looks like I've got a couple Brussels sprouts, 3 cauliflowers started, a broccoli starting to come up. With the light in here, you can't see the labels on the video, but I got them labeled on the outside of this container. I've got a couple cabbage started. This one is new today. It's a spaghetti squash that's starting to come up. This soil was disturbed earlier, so I'm thinking there's a zucchini starting to come up in there. And then over here, I've got a, let's see, what is this guy? A spinach plant started. So I'm pretty excited about this. These are going surprisingly well. I've been watering them multiple times a day with a spray bottle here, keeping them nice and moist. So I'm pretty happy about the progress I'm making on those so far. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the garden update, and I hope that I'll have some more fruitful updates for you soon. Thanks.